right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Player B podcast. My name is Marcus Mercer, usually joined by Rob Blevins. He is unable to be here tonight, but we do have a special guest. We have Bill Rabel coming back from the Penn Ohio Golf Trail. Bill, how we doing?
Doing well. Glad to be back. Looking forward to the podcast today.
Yeah, it was, we've been chatting, going back and forth all summer long and things like that. Wanted to get you back on, but it's funny to think back. We started this podcast almost a year ago, and you were our first actual guest that we ever had on the podcast. So we've had a couple people on twice now, and you're, I think, the third or fourth one, but you are the first guest we ever had. So it's good to have you back.
I love it. Yeah, it's that's great. I'm glad I made the cut to come back.
That's right. That's right. We had to have you back. So I think anybody that's listened to probably more than one or two of our episodes has heard us mention Penn Ohio Golf Trail, talk about the courses, some of the courses that we've got out and played and things like that. But this was the first summer that had the chance to work with you guys a little bit. And I use work in quotes because, who got out to play a little golf and just take some pictures and post them to Instagram and things like that. So it's right. Definitely hardly work, but it was more fun than anything else. So it was a lot of fun to get the chance to work with you guys and see some new courses. So
and we were glad to get you out. And I think for us, we have to think differently now about the world of golf, right? I think these types of things, your podcast and Instagram and those are important. Those are advertising tools for us, and they become a huge advertising tool for us. The days of golf shows are slowly all but dying. There may be a couple this year, but majority of golf shows have been canceled. Magazines, not many people get magazines anymore. So we found like Instagram and the podcasts, those are important. Weirdly enough, about, 3 days ago, I had a gentleman that was from Michigan that was thinking about booking, and he had never been on the trail before and was trying to find out as much information as he could. And he was like, yeah, I watched you on this podcast the other day that I found. And it was the podcast. It was the Player B podcast. And he mentioned it. And he said, yeah, I learned all about the trail from the Player B podcast. And so that's why we decided to go with you. And so they booked. It was 24 guys. They're coming down, I think it's in July or August. And they're staying at one of our mansions. And a lot of it had to do with your podcast. So
how about that?
It's just ironic. It was literally 3 days ago. We were talking about me coming on the podcast in the office. And I said, how crazy is this? This is an important tool for us. So
that's amazing. So on our last episode, we had Hung Chow from Virtues on, and he was telling us a story on the last episode about he had a group of guys that was out there over the summer, sometime in the summer, and they were doing like a friendly Ryder Cup style thing or something like that. So they played their morning match, and they were sitting out on the patio and they were having a beer, figuring out their afternoon pairings or whatever it was. And one of the guys stopped him and said, hey, I saw you on the video on the podcast, on the Player B podcast, telling us how to properly repair our divot marks. Cause I put out a clip. He was talking about how, folks should, properly repair their divot marks rather than, doing whatever. So you're the second guest in a row that we've had in back-to-back episodes that has had somebody come up to them or mention them, about being on the podcast. So that's great that people are listening. We,
I
we
think
appreciate
it's awesome.
that.
No, listen, I think it's great for you guys. I mean, that's essentially what you guys wanted out of the podcast was listeners. But it's great for us because, again, it's a great advertising tool for us. And, selfishly speaking, it's great.
Yeah. You said the gentleman's coming from Michigan. Is that?
Yeah. So it was a gentleman in Michigan. He was just looking up information on Penn Ohio Golf Trail, and that's how he happened across your podcast. And so he listened to the episode with the first time that I was on. And now, he was like, yeah, I found this great podcast, and just went on about it. And hey, great, and it helped us to book them. So, that's what we want.
That's amazing. So if you're that gentleman from Michigan, coming down to Ohio for a buddy's trip, a weekend trip, leave us a message, send us a note on Instagram or something like that. Let us know, that you listened, and we'd love for you to leave a review. But that's amazing. We're glad. It sounds like they have a good group, 24 guys, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. That's one thing, this year, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit, but 2022 groups have grown significantly.
That's we can even get into that. So, obviously we're into 2022 now. It's January, and people are probably have either begun or are in the middle of planning, golf trips and things like that. What's 2022 look like for you guys? It sounds like, might be looking forward to a big year, more groups, bigger groups, that kind of thing. But, are you seeing that trending in the right way? People are looking to get out and book these trips now, or what's that looking like for you guys in 2022, I guess?
Yeah. So typically right now for me, it's my busy season. Everybody thinks, oh, you're in the golf industry, your busy season's, June, July, August. Well, for me, my busy season is now. We would have already done a golf show. We would be coming up on a golf show this weekend, which I think it would have been Columbus, actually. It might have been coming up this weekend. But without those, we got slammed with people just wanting our mansions. So our mansions, there's 4th of July weekend. We have 2 or 3 mansions available. Other than that, we only have a couple mansions here and there that are available on the weekend, and most of our weekdays, especially in June, September, are pretty filled. So we're really excited because obviously 2020 was a wash. I mean, we kept our head above water. 2021, we did really well last year. And that's without our Canadian market. And the groups were smaller. While groups still came, there were still people that were hesitant to come. The vaccines were just rolling out. Some people were hesitant in that respect. So 2021 was our best year ever, which is crazy to think about. But so this year we're looking for the Canadian market to open back up. The borders open. So lots of Canadians are very interested in coming back down. We already have groups booked. And then it seems like, and I'm sure we could talk about this too, but over the last 2 years, and you can ask anybody in the golf industry, the game of golf has grown exponentially. If you're a golf course and you're struggling in 2020 or 2021, you're doing something wrong, because golf is the sport to play. We were even talking about, we work with a bunch of private country clubs. Private country clubs, their membership has grown to where a lot of people, they're at their limit. They can't accept any more members. And, that has not been the case for a long time, especially in private clubs.
Yeah.
So, I think with that, the game of golf just growing, especially local golf, well, now it's translating in, okay, we can travel now. Well, I really like golf. Let's do a buddies trip, that type of thing.
That's perfect. And that's good to hear. I mean, that's kind of the same sentiment that even, we've talked to Hung Chow a couple of times at Virtues, and we've talked to some, the gentleman down at Stone Lake Hills in Cincinnati, and everybody has seen an uptick in the number of rounds played, in the last couple of years. So it's good to good to see people getting out and maybe reconnecting with the game after a while if they haven't played in a while, or playing more or whatnot. It does make it harder to find a tee time sometimes, but that's okay. So it is what it is. But and it also could make the rounds a little bit longer. But again, all good problems to have. So it's encouraging to hear that. So yeah, I mean that's good. It's having folks that are interested in coming down from Michigan and Canada and things like that are great to, expose them to some of the courses that we have here in Ohio and even Pennsylvania and things like that. So, obviously you guys are in the middle of your busiest time. Like you said, I did notice that you guys have made some changes to the website and things like that. So you guys have definitely been putting in some work, and I'm actually seeing a lot of familiar photos from some of the guys that I had a chance to get around and play with this summer. So it's cool to see some of those photos that those guys take being shown off a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. It's great because, golf courses, a lot of them are privately owned, right? So to get actual good photos, it's very, very, very expensive. And then, so one of the things that has popped up are guys like you and Ohio Johnny, and there's a number of different guys that are taking these great golf course photos. And I mean, for golf courses just notoriously do not have good photos. And for whatever reason. And that was always a struggle that we had on our website and promoting golf courses, is we just never had these photos. And now all of a sudden, the last 2 years, we're getting all these great photos of golf courses. They're appreciative because now they have photos of their golf course. But for us, we are able to rebuild our whole website, and we have some amazing photos. And like you said, majority of them are photos from guys that you've played with or yourself. And so it's been great. And it was fun redoing the website and going through all those photos. And, we have really expanded. We've just grown as a company, which has been great. One of the positive things that came out of the pandemic was not only have people enjoyed the game of golf. Now, it wasn't great for us in the stay and play industry, but now we're seeing that surge in golfers. But it also expanded our region. So never were we getting people coming from Chicago, but people from Chicago didn't want to fly on a plane. They found us. Well, it's a straight shot over for them, 5.5, 6 hours.
Yeah.
They don't mind doing that. People from New Jersey coming over, it's a straight shot for them, and they don't have to get on a plane and deal with, all the nonsense that goes along with that. And is my reservation going to be canceled? So it kind of expanded our region there as well. So the website came out of, hey, we need to be more professional. So we got a new logo. You probably noticed.
I did notice it. Yeah. Looks great.
Yeah. So we redid the website. Some other things that, we're already on Instagram advertising, we're on Google advertising, and we're going to have 2 articles featured in Golf Week. One here in the next couple weeks, and one probably towards the beginning of the season. We'll have a couple articles published in Golf Week. So it's it's been fun.
That's amazing. And I don't know if you know this, or if anybody has even mentioned it to you, but by the group of guys that you have brought on to kind of work with and take some of these photos and photograph the courses and things like that. Michael and Ryan and Johnny, and I'm probably missing 1 or 2 others, but sure. You've kind of created a little bit of a cohort, I guess, of guys. So it's been really cool to, meet those guys, and having, I played, I think 3 rounds with Michael Dennis last year, and got to meet.
Michael's an amazing photographer.
He's unbelievable. I mean, all those guys are. It's crazy, but
yeah.
But I got to play with both Ryans last year and played with Johnny. So I don't know, that was probably an unintended, outcome, but you've created this little cohort of people. We ended up, we've talked about it on here a couple of times. Most of us, I think RJ was the only one that wasn't able to make it, but we ended up even playing, kind of creating a Cleveland versus Columbus Ryder Cup. And we ended up, a couple of the guys, we added there's some guys that, are mutual friends of other guys. So it got expanded out to, I think, 16 guys. And we met up at Westfield Country Club in Mansfield and just played an 18 hole match, Columbus versus Cleveland, which is cool. I mean, those kind of relationships, got, I guess, brought together and formed through Penn Ohio Golf Trail. So I don't know if you knew that, but there you go.
Well, I knew that you guys were playing together, which I thought was awesome. I mean, it's guys that share a love for golf in a very kind of, I don't know how else to put this, but like a non kind of money making way, which is next time Hung comes on, ask him how many times he gets a phone call from a company saying, hey, we give us one tee time and we'll give you this, or we're going to do this and give us a discount on this. But, it's a group of guys that kind of came together with nothing more than, hey, we just love golf. We're not here to make money. We're not here to, we're just here to play golf and have fun and talk about it. And I think that's so cool because, I mean, the reality is like Johnny, Ohio Johnny and Michael Dennis, like those guys are real photographers.
Legit good
photographers that can charge thousands of dollars for their pictures and the copyrights to them. And they don't, Johnny, I think Johnny's a teacher and he just I just really like to play golf. So get me on this golf course and I'd love it. And I mean, he's been published, I think in Golf Week is a couple of his photos have been published there. I mean, and I think that's so neat because it's, you see that across sports now. It's everything's about money and it's just fun when it's a group of guys that have come together just because, hey, we love to play. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I mean, I've talked to him a bunch just through Instagram and finally had the chance to meet him when we all met up at Westfield. Gosh, that was September. Actually, it might have even been October. I have the thing right. Yeah, it was October 16th. But so finally had the chance to meet him in person. Nicest guy in the world. And I gave him a little crap. I got to get him on the podcast. So at one point he self-admittedly said he wasn't the most talkative person. So we'll get him on here one of these times. But I mean, getting the chance that we, got out early in the summer at, I think it was Oak Tree. I'm sorry. Oak Tree, and myself and RJ and Michael and a gentleman named Grady, who we've all met through Instagram and things like that, got a chance to get out and play and just meet each other and have fun. And like I said, it's been really cool to just kind of create that group of people, like you said, that just enjoy getting out, playing golf, taking photos, talking about whatever it is. So it's been a cool experience. So looking forward to another good summer of that. So it's
absolutely.
It's been really cool. But speaking of Oak Tree, did get a chance to get out and play a couple courses last year. Played the Virtues with Michael Dennis, as I mentioned last year in May. Got out to Oak Tree, I think sometime in June-ish. We played over there. I drove up and played Fowler's Mill. Finally, that was high on my list to get out there, and actually had a chance in the fall to get out and play Avalon Squaw Creek. So had a chance to really check out some new courses and some of them are a little bit of a drive here from Columbus, but it was. I love playing new courses, so I appreciate the opportunity. And I will say though, when I played Avalon, when I played Squaw Creek, I ended up taking my dad and one of his friends, and we were blown away by that golf course. And I will say, Johnny gave me a heads up that I forget what number hole. I don't have the scorecard in front of me. He goes, watch out for that par 5 on the back. I think it was 666 yards from the tips.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the par 3 where the animal park is right next to it.
No, okay. So we were trying to figure that out. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to ask about that, because we heard a lot of animal noises coming from the park or whatever that's right there. I was like, that sounds like a moose or something. What's going on over there? So
listen, the animal park that's right next door there is amazing. It really is. We bring our kids there a lot. But I'll never forget the last time I played there. I was teeing off on the par 3, and it was something. They have an elephant over there or whatever. Something made a noise right as I was in the middle of my swing. And listen, I'm not good enough to really blame what happened to my ball on the animal park, but it was right in the middle of yeah. But that's funny. I thought that's where you were going with it. But yes, that par 5 on the back there is
because so we played at Westfield middle of October, and I think we played there a week or two later. So it was quite cold. We teed off. I think we had the first tee time out, and it was about 42 degrees when we teed off, and we kind of had the course to ourselves. And he gave me a heads up. He's like, just watch out. He's like, that hole is a beast. And of course we didn't play from the tips, obviously, but it was almost, I think it was about 600 yards, and we played it dead into the wind too. And it was a beast. But no, I had not played much golf over that way, and I was blown away by that golf course. It was end of October, and we had gotten some rain. I think that weekend we played on a Sunday. I think we got some rain on Thursday and Friday, and the course was in unbelievable shape. It was a great play. So not unintended plug there, but if anybody is booking their trip through Penn, Ohio, give Squaw Creek a look, because it is a lot of fun to play.
Yeah. So Squaw Creek, I think I've said before, Youngstown Country Club, my hands down favorite. Squaw Creek is right up there. It's an old school country club. So it's Stanley Thompson design. So a Canadian audience listening knows Stanley Thompson. He's the Canadian golf designer. But that course was on the LPGA tour for a number of years. So there was, it started off as the Farmore LPGA Open, but then it turned into the Giant Eagle LPGA Open. So it was Squaw Creek, and then it went to Avalon Lakes, which is the Pete Dye course. And then it went back to Squaw Creek for a little bit while Avalon was being redesigned. But Squaw Creek was in a pretty exclusive private country club, and then Avalon took it over. You can still tell it's a pretty exclusive place, but the course is it's fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a great course.
Yeah, it was, like I said, I was blown away, especially by the condition that it was in. You think late October, it could be pretty soggy out there and things like that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So definitely looking forward to potentially getting back out there. And like I said, played Virtues a million times, but you can't go wrong with that course either. So
listen, Hung is one of my favorite pros. Like, the guy is just awesome. I mean, that's the type of guy you want running your golf course, right?
100%.
He knows the game well, but he's also just really personable. And then the Virtues, I mean, I think everybody knows the Virtues is one of the top tracks, if not the top track in Ohio, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just combines to make a great day there between Hung, the course conditions, the course itself. It's just a great.
And thinking, just talking about Hung, you said something that he kind of echoed, or I guess you echoed something that he said on the previous podcast, in that, he talked a little bit about doing some different things with there being no PGA show or a limited PGA show, and then different golf trade shows and things like that being minimal or non-existent anymore. We talked to him for a few minutes last week about he's doing some Facebook Live stuff. He's doing, some giveaways and doing different, Q&A sessions on Facebook Live and things like that. So it's interesting to hear you kind of echo what he said about having to get creative on, not necessarily quote unquote traditional advertising, but just meeting people where they are to talk about, the golf courses that you offer in your packages and things like that. So that was interesting to hear.
Yeah, and that's it. You have to be creative now. Like for me to think about somebody not knowing Squaw Creek is crazy, but like for you, it's like I never. How could you know about this course, right?
Yeah.
There's so many great courses in just the state of Ohio that you could never know about all of them, public, private, but a place like Squaw Creek, which doesn't necessarily advertise a lot, it's not going to get ranked on different places you can play in that because it is semi-private. But that's it. You have to think out of the box now to advertise to the golfer. Hung's, I've seen Hung at the golf shows a lot, and we always talk when we're there. Hung's a smart enough guy that I'm sure he is doing a lot of great things, and happy for him, and he's just a good dude. So
we spent about half the episode talking about his kids are getting into working on their golf games now, so he's working on his game along with them, and the swing changes he goes. So it's when somebody like Rob and him get talking together about the minutia of a golf swing, it just blows my mind, because I'm just some guy that goes out and plays on the weekends for fun, and these guys actually know what they're talking about. So
yeah. Listen, and that's beyond me. I fixed my slice, and I'm happy about that. Like,
there
I'm
you go.
The driver into the fairway.
There you go.
I don't know how I did it. So.
There you go. Perfect. Well, this might be a good time for our newish segment. I think you're the fourth guest we've done this with, but our quote unquote at the turn questions here, just 9 questions that just some fun golf related stuff to maybe just to get to know you a little bit. So if you're good with that, we'll roll with the at the turn questions here. So question number 1, are you a rider or a walker?
Oh, I prefer to walk. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
There's a group of us that, me and my buddy that live up the road, we were, especially during the pandemic, we were getting up at 6 a.m. and walking before work 9 holes. We try to walk as much as we can. I think it makes the game a little more enjoyable. I find myself playing a little better, and I don't know if it's just like that in between time to myself where I can kind of collect my thoughts after the terrible shot I just hit. Not that I don't mind riding, and I know it keeps probably the pace of play, but
sure.
Yeah, I prefer to walk.
I think I'd have to go back. I think we're 4 for 4 on walkers, which is pretty cool.
And
I guess my follow-up to that is
a push cart, though.
That was my follow-up. Are you a push cart guy as well?
Listen, I'm too old.
hey, listen, Rob and I both have push carts that we use in our men's league Thursday nights, so it makes things so much better.
I got a really nice push cart. Actually, my next door neighbor and I played together a lot, and he had this push cart, and I got a really nice push cart, and it's great.
Like, it is.
You could put your GPS in it. You could, everything.
Yep.
I love a good push cart.
Yep. We're both push cart guys also. So perfect. All right. Question number 2, wood tees or plastic tees?
So this is going to sound a little uppity, but I belong to a country club, and it's Trumbull Country Club. I don't think you guys have played that.
I have not gotten out there. No.
We'll get you out to Trumbull. Maybe we should play together.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
And sounds uppity. Trumbull is a wonderful country club, but it's great for families. It's not overly expensive. It's a true country club, but I have 2 young kids, and they meet their friends there at the pool and stuff.
Sure.
So to be honest with you, I don't even know what brand of tee they have. Whatever plastic tees are at Trumbull Country Club is the ones that I grab.
Whatever's available. That's Jason, always good.
Jason, we'll have to get Jason on here sometimes, who is our pro, and whatever he orders, that's what I use.
There we go. Whatever's available. I like it. Question 3, you're making the turn. Hot dog or energy bar?
Oh, hot dog.
A hot dog. Yeah, there you go. Can't go wrong with a hot dog.
Like, do I get a hot dog now?
Maybe that's what we should start doing. We should start grilling up some dogs while we chat here. I like that. Right. Perfect. Question 4. You are hit your approach, just miss the green. Are you typically playing a bump and run or a flop shot? You keep it on the ground, or are you hitting it high?
I should play a bump and run. But I try to play a flop shot.
There you go. Yep. It's funny because almost every time I think about it, I usually just automatically just grab my 60 degree out of my bag. And right. We've had two guys that have worked in the golf industry, pros, on and answer the question, and both of them say they keep it as low to the ground as possible. And it made me start thinking, I was like, well, these guys that actually know what they're talking about are keeping it low. So
listen, I think I just do like the flop shot thing because like you have a 60 degree, I have a 58 degree that I use. And I think it's just because I have that club in the bag that I do it. And I'm not that. I should be playing exactly like just kind of getting as close to the hole as possible.
Yep. I'm with you. All right. Question 5. Are you a music or no music on the golf course?
Music.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love the, I feel like we all have them now, like the Bushnell Wingman. Mm-hmm. Love having that. And,
it's funny. We just had a gentleman, Alex from Precision Pro, on here not too long ago, and they just came out with their Ace speaker is what they're calling it. Yeah. So,
and I wish that it would have come out before. The Wingman was a gift from my wife.
Yeah. Yep.
But Precision Pro is a great product. Actually, my GPS is Precision Pro. And if the Wingman ever goes, I'll get their speaker because I think their product is great. Actually, right at the end of the season, my battery went on my Precision Pro GPS, my laser pointer, and you just go on their website, type in your thing, and he sends you a battery.
Send you a brand new battery, yeah. And they're another Ohio company, so there you go.
Cincinnati, I think.
Cincinnati, yep.
Yeah, great company.
Yeah, shout out Alex. So we had him on the podcast, and then Rob and I actually had a late November round. We got out and walked 18 with him and got to know him a little bit. So Precision Pro doing some good things, but yeah, that Ace speaker looks pretty solid. So
great product.
Question 6, hoodies on the golf course. Very contentious topic here. If you follow anything on social media, listen, are you pro hoodie or anti hoodie?
No, I am. Golf, you dress appropriately for the game.
There you go.
And listen, this becomes a contention with me because we are partnered up with a number of different courses. So private country clubs, Old Stonewall, a lot of these courses that are really kind of high end, very nice courses.
Sure.
And every once in a while I get this phone call. Bill, your group today, guy had a hoodie on, guy had a backwards hat on, guy didn't have a shirt tucked in. I get that a lot. I mean, so much that we put in our contracts, we put in on the itineraries that we send out, make sure you dress appropriately for the course. I am a no jeans on the golf course guy. I am a collared shirt. You play the game, you play it right. And,
sure.
And that's just part.
You and Rob are aligned in that. Our group of buddies gives Rob some crap sometimes every time you see one of the tour guys out there in a hoodie and they're like, oh, don't let Rob see this, whatever. Right. So it's funny, but that's interesting that a course would reach out to you guys and mention that or talk to you guys about that. So yeah, I guess it's just kind of one of those things. You just got to know the environment that you're in and, dress and act accordingly. So
yeah, listen, if you're traveling to a golf course, all golf courses have their own rules. whether it's dress code, whether it's bringing alcohol onto the course.
Yeah.
All golf courses have their own rules, and just make sure that you know them, and before you go out, know what you're getting yourself into.
Sure. That's probably just a good rule for life in general, but yeah, good fits for the golf course as well. So, all right. Question number 7. Are you a blades or a cavity back? What do you play?
I'm not good enough to play blades.
Okay, good. Cause we've had a couple guys on here that play blades, and I'm like, man, I'm not good enough for that. So
no, I'm cavity back. I play a set of pings that are the 700s that are cavity back, or they're cavity backs, I guess you could say.
There you go. Question 8. Do you have any hole-in-ones? I'm changing this one up. Usually we go lowest round, but do you have any hole-in-ones? Hole-in-one?
No. I could think of 3 times that I've come so close. Yeah. So close. But no hole-in-ones.
Man, neither Rob or I have one either, so we're chasing the ever. And then we had somebody on a couple of weeks ago, a gentleman that works for a company called Ripstick. I don't know if you've seen them on Instagram at all, but they're like speed training type stuff. He was like, yeah, I have 4. So I told Rob, I said, hey, we have 4 hole-in-ones between our group here, so we'll get there. Come close. I've told the story. I actually hadn't even seen a hole-in-one in person until last year. And one of Rob's buddies, we played down at Stone Lake Hills in Cincinnati, and he aced a par 4, which I was like, and it had the most maligned, unassuming celebration. And he was like, holy shit, it's in the hole. And then, it was over, and he just moved on. So,
and that was it.
Yeah. We just walked up to the cup, and he couldn't find his ball. He was looking around the green, and he checked the cup, and it was in there. And he was like, cool. So it is what it is, but
I hope I'm that, if I ever get one, I could be that, like, kind of low key about it.
I think it was his 3rd one. So yeah, he was yeah, ho hum, right?
Yeah.
So last question on our at the turn here. You have a little bit of a situation or a scenario here. Par 4, tight fairway. It's about 320 yards or whatever your 300-yard downhill, OB right, water on the left. Are you going for the green, or are you going to lay up off the tee?
I'm going.
There you go.
Listen, I blame my neighbor for this. We were in a tournament together. It was actually a member guest, and he said, "Listen, but just go for it. But we're not good enough to not go for it."
I like that. I like that.
And so I blame my neighbor Steve for that. But so I approach that with everything. If there's a little, like, if I got to punch out and there's a little window, going for it.
Love it.
Not that I'm good enough to go for it by any. I usually put myself in more trouble. But what do I care? I because every once in a while you get that great shot out of it, and then you have a story.
There you go. Exactly. Then you have a story.
Nobody tells the story about laying up, right?
100% correct. Yep.
Everybody tells a story about going for it.
Exactly. Like you said, we're not on tour. What do we have to lose? So
yeah. And I use that across the golf course. Like, I don't care. I'm going for it.
Nice.
Whatever it is.
Nice. Perfect. Well, that was fun. We, like I said, sometimes we switch it up a little bit and we add some wrinkles in there, but that was our at the turn. We started adding a few questions, and we had to tone it back to 9 before we got out to a full 18 set of questions there. So, but going back to something you said earlier, now obviously it's January. You guys are in your busy season. People are planning golf trips, thinking about golf trips, wanting to take a golf trip. When somebody calls you guys and is interested, or they're trying to get pricing, or they're trying to get information, what do you typically, what's the process that you guys go through? How do you start to plan a golf trip with somebody? What should they be looking for, thinking about, the different variables that they should be accounting for when they're planning their trip? I guess walk us through that process, what that looks like.
Sure. So I approach it this way. I approach it as every single group that we do is different, right? Typical questions that I ask right off the bat, what type of courses are you looking for? And in that means, do you have a group of golfers that are all single digit handicaps? Do you have a wide mix of golfers? Do you have golfers, with 30 handicaps? Because there's those too. So I start off, what types of courses are you looking for? There's some people that say, don't give me any links courses. I want no links courses. We want a variety of courses. We want some hilly courses and some flat courses. So we kind of go through that process. The other thing that I ask is, what type of lodging are you looking for? We have these mansions, and there's some people, they just want those mansions. They want to stay in houses. They want to all be together. And that's a big selling point for us, is we offer something unique that most people don't and can't offer. One of our mansions sleeps up to 36 people. But then there's groups of guys that they want a hotel room because they want their privacy. They want a bathroom, their bed, and that's it. So we talk about the lodging. Then we talk about budget. Budget's an important thing. Some people, hey, give us the best courses, but it doesn't matter. And other people are, listen, I have a group of 30 guys. I have guys that money isn't an option, and other guys that it is. So, I try to get a range. Hey, if $300, you want something for $300, here's the best courses I think you should play, or the courses that I think are going to fit your group's need. So, budget is important to people. So I try to fit things into budget. So that's it. I try to tailor every single package. I think we maybe have talked about this before. We'll do between 400 and 500 packages this year, and every single one of them are going to be different in some way. Whether it's different courses, whether it's food, whether it's lodging, and then some people are looking for, we have so many different areas now that you can get into. So I guess know your group. When you're planning this trip, know your group. Are guys in the group? Is money important? Is the type of golf course important? Know the handicaps of your group members. Those are all important things, because anybody that's tried to plan a golf group or a golf trip for someone, or with a group of guys, or anybody's tried to do anything with a group of guys larger than like 3, there's always wrinkles in it. And this guy wants this and this guy wants that. So know your group, know kind of what they're looking for. And, I had a guy call today and he said, hey, I have this group. Some guys are 30 handicaps. Some guys are single digits. I wish money wasn't an option, but it is. And so I gave him 4 different options in 4 different areas. And he was like, I can't believe we've never heard of you guys before. This is great. And he was like, and you're going to do all this for me? And I was like, yeah, this is it. So he was able to go back to his group and say, here's 4 options. What do you guys think?
I think that's the hardest part is, but having been on a couple golf trips, I am staying out of the golf trip planning business for our buddies. But that's the hardest part is agreeing on, even where to go can be some of the hardest parts of where to, planning that trip. But you guys, I think what you guys do well is you offer, to your point, you have so many different options available, and being able to give somebody 4 different options of, okay, maybe you want to play 2 courses in Canton and 2 in Youngstown. I don't even know what that looks like, but I'm sure that happens quite a bit. But having those options available, I think is a big benefit to what you guys are doing. And, you can get creative with some of the trips and packages that people are going for. So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We were trying to come up with a new slogan. Our slogan was "One call does it all," and I just felt it was like so cliche. Yeah. So we're just trying to come up with, between the new website, things like that. So, have you ever watched Mad Men?
It's been a while. I have seen a few episodes, but it's been a while.
Right. So Mad Men's my favorite show, and I love Don Draper and the advertising thing and just the creative. So one day I just came in and I said to Kirsten, who works for us, said, we're coming up with a new slogan today. So our new slogan that we've been using just in some of the advertising is, we make the plans, you make the putts. Like, it's simple.
There you go.
We'll do all the plans. You just have to worry about coming in golf. That's all you have to do. As a group leader, you don't have to worry about collecting money from the guys. We collect the money. You don't have to worry about paying the hotel or making hotel reservations. We do that for you. So we do everything for you. You just come in and try to make the putts. Just try to make your golf shots.
That's perfect. That takes so much stress out of it. I can't even, I can only imagine how happy that makes the folks that are reaching out to you, when they're like, I don't have to, get 16 guys to pay me first and, all that kind of stuff. So that's
Shout
cool.
out to my buddy, Steve.
Yeah. We'll have to get Steve on here to rebrand the podcast.
Steve was in radio before. He would be great on this.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
He's an entertaining guy.
That's funny. So you may have hinted at something a little bit there, but what's new in 2022? Are there any plans to add new courses? Are you working with anybody new? What's if folks are looking for a new trip, they've come back with you, previously, if they're looking to do something different this year, what may be new in 2022?
Yeah, sure. So we definitely have expanded. We've had courses in the Erie, PA area, Whispering Woods, which is an amazing course. Country Club of Meadville, which is a private country club. So we've had those courses for a while. We had a hotel reach out to us, and it just kind of came together perfectly. So there's a brand new Holiday Inn right on Peach Street, right off of Interstate 90 up in Erie. So in the middle of everything. So we partnered up with this Holiday Inn up there, and then we added a few courses. We added Lakeview Country Club, which is a private country club overlooking the lake there. We added Downing, which is a muni course up there, nice track. We added Riverside Golf Club, which Riverside has been around forever, and new owners took it over and created, just putting so much money into this golf course. It's always been known as this wonderful, great golf course, and a lot of Canadian business would come down and just play at this golf course. But these guys took it over, putting all kinds of money into it, put money into the pro shop and the restaurant. So Erie is an area that we've added. We're pretty excited about that. I can't give too much information on this, but there may be another house coming online sometime soon. So we're trying to expand that a little bit. So a little teaser there, I guess.
There we go.
So we're always looking for new courses, new areas. I think our next area that we're looking to expand to, I don't know how quickly this will happen, but is the Columbus area. We have the Virtues down there. We have a relationships with the guy Eagle Sticks, just from they're pretty well connected. Eagle Sticks and the Virtues. So we're looking maybe to expand into that Columbus area. I don't know how long that'll take, but I think that's probably the natural progression, is Columbus or maybe Pittsburgh next.
I told RJ this. I'm sure I've told some other folks, but a couple of those guys hadn't played Virtues before, and I said, you guys should come down, play Virtues, and we, if you want to make a weekend of it, we could do Virtues, Eagle Sticks, and even throw in Denison in there, and they're all, those three courses are within 20-30 minutes of each other, and could be a great little weekend if you want to do 36 on Saturday and 18 on Sunday or something like that. So
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great options, I will say. So that would be cool. But we're looking forward to 2022. We haven't ironed out all the details or even what we're going to do here yet, but we had a discussion and about Rob and I getting up and testing out, playing some new courses in up your way and making some content out of it. Maybe, having a little 3-round match and see who comes out on top, and, just having some fun with it. We can figure out some different ways to make some video and talk about it on the podcast, do some course reviews, whatever may come, but we'll TBD. So for those out there listening,
another little teaser.
Yeah, another little teaser. Exactly. Be on the lookout
put it together
for that. But yeah, no, something like that would be fun, because, Rob and I play a lot of golf together, and that we play in a Thursday night men's league, but I don't think we've ever really played in a match or anything against it. He is a much better golfer than I. So I'm going out there right now, and he's not here to defend himself, but I need probably 6 to 8 strokes easily. He'll argue that, but
work on the and get it up until the match.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to listen to this episode at some point and be like, 8 strokes? Are you kidding me? So, but no, we're looking forward to, doing some things again in 2022, and, getting up and, like I said, playing some new courses and having some fun, and maybe, competing against each other a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, I think probably, decent spot to wrap up. It was good to, have you back on and chat a little bit, and we're exciting to hear you guys, adding Airy to the, to your package options, and doing some different things. And, I'm glad to hear that things are, filling up for you guys already here in January. So it's looking like it's going to be a good year, I should say. So
I hope so. I think we can all use a good year.
Yep.
And play as much golf as we can, and
you can never go wrong with playing as much golf as you can. So
right.
But yeah, we'll maybe one of these days we'll get you and all the guys we mentioned, RJ and Ryan and Johnny and Michael and all those guys on here. Maybe we'll just do one big podcast together, and we can all talk about the courses we played and rib each other a little bit and have some fun. So that would be kind of cool.
But I think we should do it.
I love it. So good stuff. Well, thanks again for coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you. I know you guys are on Instagram, website, all that good stuff. Where can people find you and get information on Penn Ohio Golf Trail?
Yeah, so I think the two easiest things are just go to our website, pennohiogolftrail.com. That's PENNOHIO golftrail.com. And our phone number is 877-534-6789. You can call us anytime. We'd be happy to plan your trip. We can accommodate anything. We've done trips of one person. We've done busloads of 100 people. So we can come up with anything for you. The website has all the information, all the courses, lodging, things like that. You can even request a quote on the website. But those are the two easiest things. We are on Instagram, Twitter at Penn Ohio Golf Trail, Facebook. So you can find us there as well.
And I'll reiterate this again, but definitely check out the Penn Ohio Golf Trail Instagram page, because some of the photos that we were talking about, some of the photos that those guys took are unbelievable, and they're on the Instagram page. And I've played golf with these guys, and I've seen how they do it, and I still don't understand how they do it, but they work magic with the drones and their cameras and all kinds of stuff. So it's
listen, let's not split hairs here. A majority of our Instagram page is photos from the guys, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, it is what it is. They just take great shots. So.
They take great shots, and I'm out there. Last story, we'll wrap up, I promise, but played, had never met Michael, went out to the Virtues with him and grabbed a cart, drove out there, picked him up, or I guess we walked up together, and he goes, hopefully you don't have much stuff, because I'm taking up most of the cart with my gear. He had his drone, his camera bag, all this other stuff, in addition to his golf bag and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I laugh at myself because I'm out there with my iPhone taking a few photos and doing what I can, but these guys are actual pros and know what they're doing and take unbelievable golf course shots. So shout out to those guys. Hopefully, I'm sure they'll be listening, and can't wait to get out there and play with them again here soon. So
Your troop kind of all comes together though in different, like Michael and Johnny take great photos and that, but you and listen, like I said, people are listening to the podcast and then calling us. So I think the troop is, everybody has their own little niche.
Yeah. I can't take good photos, but I'll try and talk about golf as best I can. How about that? So
listen, so I have a question for you before we do.
Yeah.
Who's the best golfer in the group?
In our group, and of those guys,
the Instagram crew.
It's got to be Johnny. He's a stick. I saw him play a little bit. Rob is I don't know. He's a low single digit handicap. I don't even know what he's at anymore, but Rob is in that group. I would say probably those two are there. Michael and RJ can play. Everybody can play a little bit. It's sure. I would say we're all under 10. I would say most everybody's a single digit handicap. Ryan's really good too. He's like a 1 or a 2 handicap. So there's some guys that can play in this group. That there's no doubt about that. So
listen, I can't go out and play with you guys.
That's right. I'm the worst photographer and the worst golfer in that group. So I don't know what I bring to this situation here.
You make a great podcast though.
Yeah. No, that's funny because like I said, with that actually I have it sitting right here, but the Instagram Ryder Cup battle for Ohio. So a couple guys, Johnny did this one, and one of the other guys did this one, and then one of the guys had these framed for everybody at the end, and it was really cool to get out there. But it was me and Michael from that group, and then our Ryan, RJ, and Johnny, and we brought in some other folks too, but split down the middle, and Columbus did not win. There's a story. Either go back and listen to the podcast where we recap that, or when we have you back on, we'll recap Rob's experience on 18 at Westfield Country Club, because those guys up in Cleveland still have not let him live that down. There's still messages going back and forth about his putt on 18. So we'll another little teaser there.
Listen, you got to send me a photo of that too. We got to get that up on our Instagram page. Yeah. I love it.
Like I said, Johnny did this one, and gosh, I can't even remember who did this one. Somebody else did that one. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, shout out John for getting those printed and framed for us. But yeah, we'll get you back on and we'll relive Rob's putt on 18, because he's not going to want to. And like I said, the guys up in Cleveland still are ribbing him pretty good about that. So
love it.
So cool. Well, good stuff. Yeah. Check out Penn Ohio Golf Trail. Make your plans. It's that time of year where we can't play golf, but you might as well start thinking about it and planning your trip for this summer and spring. So give them a follow. Appreciate you listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on the podcast. Follow our podcast on Instagram now. We do have a separate Instagram account at Player B Podcast, and then check out Rob and I on Instagram at Club Tour Ohio and at Punch Out Golf. So we appreciate it, and we will talk to you again here soon. Thanks, Bill.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.